Why has a capital conceived for order become one of the most complex and fragmented cities in the world? Delhi. This city resembles no other capital on the planet. Not Washington, with its strictly planned urban layout. Not Dhaka, whose growth still follows a structured coastal pattern. Not even Tokyo, one of the world's largest megacities, yet remarkably organized. Delhi is different, dispersed, sprawling, crossed by monumental axes, yet marked by extreme density. An ancient and modern city at once. A palimpsest where civilizations, empires, colonization, independence, and globalization are layered on top of one another. And yet, despite its political status and strategic role, it has become a daily challenge for a large part of its inhabitants. With more than 30 million residents in 2025, Delhi is now the world's fourth largest city. But its history, its fragmentation, its contrasts, all help explain why it has become such a complex and unequal megacity. How did this transformation happen? Stay with us to explore the ins and outs of this crucial question. Welcome to We Emerge, the best place to get inspired and make a difference. If you haven't subscribed yet, you can do so by clicking the subscribe button. Let's get started. Originally, Delhi looked nothing like the sprawling metropolis we know today. It was not conceived as a capital, nor even as a unified city. From the earliest proto-historic settlements around the site of Puranachila, Delhi appears as a constellation of successive cities, built, abandoned, and reinvented with the rhythm of conquests. A city that literally keeps being reborn. People often speak of the seven Delhis, but the reality is far richer. It begins with Lal Kot, later expanded into Chilarai Pithora. Then comes Siri, followed by the imposing and ill-fated Tughlaqabad. Its successor establishes Jahanpanah, intended to unify previous settlements. In the mid-14th century, Firozabad, built along the Yamuna, marks another milestone. Under the Suris, Shergar revives the site of Indraprastha, before the Mughals impose their own vision with Shahjahanabad, the magnificent imperial capital. To these successive layers are added British Delhi, independent Delhi, and the globalized Delhi, shaped by the post-1991 economic reforms. Delhi is thus a stratified city, a historical landscape of layered eras where every power and period inscribed its own narrative into the urban space. For centuries, Delhi developed organically without an imposed master plan. Climate, sun, wind, and trade guided its urban form. Shahjahanabad, founded in the 17th century, is the perfect example. Narrow lanes twisting like veins, houses built around courtyards, labyrinthine bazaars where people barter, live, and pray. A community life so dense, it becomes a form of urbanism in itself. Delhi behaved like a living organism, but this intuitive city, perfectly adapted to its time, would soon be overwhelmed by the demographic explosion of the 20th century. Then everything changes. In 1911, the British decide to shift the capital from Calcutta to Delhi. They want an imperial city, a showcase of colonial power. Between 1911 and 1931, Lutyens and Herbert Baker design New Delhi, long rectilinear avenues, geometric perspectives, vast green expanses, monumental administrative buildings, a form of urbanism inspired by Haussmann and European garden city ideals. The contrast with Old Delhi is stark. On one side, the colonial city, orderly, hierarchical, airy. On the other, the Old City, dense, popular, chaotic. New Delhi becomes a city moving at two different speeds. Colonizers live in spacious bungalows surrounded by greenery, while local residents are pushed outward into peripheral or informal settlements. This fracture is not only spatial, it becomes structural, and it will outlive independence. In 1947, India gains independence, but national joy is immediately shattered by partition. That year, Delhi becomes the epicenter of the largest forced migration in modern history. Around 350,000 Muslims flee toward Pakistan, while more than 500,000 Hindus and Sikhs arrive in just a few months. The city is overwhelmed. Food runs short, trains halt, hospitals overflow, urban systems collapse. Families take shelter wherever they can. The ruins of Purana Chila and Humayun's tomb turn into massive refugee camps housing tens of thousands. Between 1947 and 1951, the population jumps from 900,000 to more than 1.7 million. Emergency camps quickly become permanent neighborhoods. Lajpat Nagar, Karol Bagh, Malviya Nagar, Rajinder Nagar, South Extension. This is the first moment when Delhi grows faster than the city itself. Authorities realize they must plan, organize, modernize. With help from the Ford Foundation, Delhi adopts its first master plan in 1962. But as The Guardian notes in its article, Delhi's modernist dream proves a far-fetched fantasy. The very foundations of this ambitious plan were largely imported. Far from the chaos of independence, 8 British and American consultants met in Berkeley, California, to study maps and design models of India's future capital. Their program, led by New York planner Albert Mayer, was called the Delhi Imperative, aiming to apply Garden City principles to Delhi's chaotic, sprawling form. The result was a theoretical urbanism conceived at a distance, a city divided into ring towns, perfectly ordered on paper, entrusted to a powerful DDA with sweeping powers, expropriations, land nationalization, freezes on private development. Yet funding was tiny, barely $1 million, The Guardian notes, and the plan ignored the poorest residents, who were central to the city's actual functioning. Thus, Delhi in 1962 found itself caught between two models, a planned ideal designed in Berkeley and the lived, dense, historic city. Planning tried to impose itself, but Delhi slipped through. Two urban geographies overlapped without ever aligning. The 1990s mark another turning point. In 1991, India opens its economy. Capital flows in, multinationals arrive, and Delhi seeks to become a world-class city. Mega projects proliferate: Kidwai Nagar, Nauroji Nagar, Dwarka. New metropolitan zones emerge: Noida, Gurugram. Transit-oriented development expands. Imported models multiply: compact city, 15-minute city, smart city. The metro, inaugurated in 2002, reshapes everything. It becomes the backbone of the megacity. Yet modernity produces new fractures. On one side, privileged enclaves, Chanakya Puri, civil lines, house caste, Greater Kailash, green, secure, well-serviced. On the other, forgotten peripheries, Silampur, Sangam Vihar, Jahangirpuri, Narela, Bhalswa. A metropolitan area, economically dynamic, but deeply fragmented socially and spatially. Each winter, Delhi sinks into a thick, toxic smog. Massive traffic, industries, brick kilns, construction sites, and above all, crop burning in Punjab and Haryana drive pollution to extreme levels. The air fills with fine particles, acrid smoke, and suspended dust, plunging the capital into a toxic haze that causes respiratory illnesses, school closures, and sometimes makes the air unbreathable even indoors. This chronic pollution, which often exceeds WHO guidelines, kills more than 17,000 people per year, one of the world's highest rates of environmental mortality. Many children regularly use nebulizers. Residents speak of burning eyes, persistent coughs, constant irritation. Added to this health crisis is a structural issue: mobility. Despite a modern extensive metro network, roads remain saturated, with pedestrians, motorbikes, cars all competing for space. This chaotic coexistence reveals Delhi's struggle to absorb its growth, caught between modern infrastructure and massive informal development. Delhi's governance is complex and fragmented. The local government, the federal government, several municipalities, and national agencies share overlapping responsibilities, generating delays, conflicts, and bureaucratic inertia. Urban planning faces institutional fragmentation, exacerbated by corruption and political struggles. The result? The city progresses slowly, unable to effectively address its structural problems. Delhi suffers from severe water scarcity. Wealthier districts enjoy continuous supply, while vulnerable areas depend on tanker trucks, wells, or boreholes. This multi-speed hydrology highlights the stark inequalities across the city, reflecting deeper social fractures. Despite its fractures and difficulties, Delhi remains a major cultural center, a political heart, and an economic hub of northern India. Its heritage, commercial dynamism, and strategic importance make it a unique metropolis. But the question remains: can Delhi absorb 40 or 50 million inhabitants by 2050 without collapsing? Will it become a planned, sustainable, inclusive capital, or a fractured, vulnerable megacity? The answer will depend on its ability to combine coherent planning, efficient governance, and social inclusion. Delhi is not a static city. It evolves, reshapes itself, and constantly absorbs new influences. More than a city in transition, it is a living organism, always reinventing itself.